Car Sales Talk 101, where it's all about life in the car business. Telling you like it is. Here's the man with the plan, Terry Cameron. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Car Sales Talk 101. I'm Terry Cameron. Thanks for hanging out with me again this week. I'm hoping everyone had a great Merry Christmas, because I sure did. But you know what that means? The last week of the year is here, and traditionally it's a busy one. Everybody wants to take advantage of that year-end blowout. You know, the myth about saving taxes for the dealer. They're going to come out there and they're going to take advantage of it. We just need to make sure that we're ready for them. So, with the last week of the year coming, I want you to try something. I want you to try writing everybody up. Here's what I mean. We know there's a process. There's a sales process, and everybody calls it a different thing, but it basically means, goes like this. You have to meet and greet the customer. You have to build some rapport. You got to get them to like you. You got to do some investigating with them to find out who the lucky person is, who's going to be the primary driver, what they're going to be using it for, why are they replacing the one they have right now. Then you're going to have to do a good feature, advantage, benefit presentation. And if you get that far with them, you also need to make sure they get to drive the vehicle. They need to drive it, and you need to be with them because, of course, that's the highest emotional point in the sales process. The feel of the wheel seals the deal. They've got to drive the car, and you got to be there with them. Now, in my experience, if I've done this in the process, the next step is natural. The next step is writing them up. What I mean by that is showing them some figures. They can't make a decision to purchase the vehicle or not if they don't see the numbers. They've got to be schooled. They need to know exactly what the numbers are going to look like. And regardless what they say is they're not buying today or not, it doesn't matter. You've got to put them on paper. The more people you write up, the more people you're going to sell. So don't buy into that I'm not buying today thing. Who cares? My saying to most of the customers when I go out and TO them is, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, give me 5 minutes. And I hold my hand up and say 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes. There's no obligation. It's all it's going to take for me to give you some numbers. So when you do go home and you have to think about it overnight, you have to pray about it overnight, you need to talk to somebody else about it, at least you have the numbers in front of you and you can think and talk a little bit more intelligently about the decision you're about to make. I can't tell you how many times that works. Now, what can happen if you write them up, if you show them some numbers? That's right. It's going to force them to make a decision. Either they say yes or no. But what happens if you don't write them up? You're right again. They can't buy it if you don't write them up. I remember years ago when a customer came in, they were going to buy a high-dollar car. Well, I'll just tell you what it was. It was a brand-new Stingray. The payments we knew were not going to be anywhere where he wanted them to be. Based on his trade-in, he's probably going to be, $900, $950, somewhere around there. And he wanted to be somewhere around $700. The salesperson that I had knew that because he investigated too far and started talking about payments, down payments, and trade on the lot, which by the way means he already started the negotiations on the lot before the customer had an opportunity to sit down, even drive the car. So we don't want to do that. We still want to follow our process all the way through. Now, regardless what they said, it didn't matter because when he came in and we penciled it at the first pencil, it went out at $1,100. The second pencil went out at $920. So that's a pretty good drop in payment, but it's still way over what he wanted. About that time, another salesperson walked up and asked for the keys. Said he had a customer who wanted to look at that car. Well, that customer reached over and snatched those keys and said, no, you can't take this. This is my car. Even though he didn't agree to purchase it at that time. But guess what he did? He made a decision. He called his dad. His dad said, I'll help you with it. And he bought the car. $980, I think, is what he walked out of the office at. $980. But if we wouldn't have wrote him up, if we wouldn't have taken that extra step, he would have walked out and we would have never got the sale. It happens all the time. Again, I want you to think about this. If you can get the customer to do everything else, do a good presentation and a demonstration, and by the way, if you don't do a good presentation and demonstration, good luck getting them to sit down and go over numbers. Because if they didn't feel it, if they didn't take that total mental ownership, then there's nothing that you can do to earn their business other than just give the car away. The other thing is, if you didn't get that far with them, it's probably because you didn't build a rapport and they don't like you. So it's really important that you follow the sales process. You greet them the right way. No fancy smancy talk. You build some rapport by finding some common ground with them. You investigate their hot buttons. Why are they going to use it? Then you do the presentation based on what they said they need it for. It's got to solve a problem, and you got to help them solve that problem. They got to hop in it and drive. They're going to fall in love with it. That demo is too important. You come back, they're going to say, okay, guys, we just want to think about it right now. And that's when you throw the old 5 fingers up there and say, hey, guys, I know it's a big decision. It's a lot of money. But how about if we do this? If you can just give me 5 minutes of your time, my manager can give you some numbers, and you can take them with you. No obligation. How's that sound? I'm going to tell you, if you do that, 5 minutes means nothing. And when you told them that 5 minutes and that you can take it with them, you just left them off the hook. They don't feel threatened. They don't feel like you're going to force them to buy. They don't feel like they're going to, get the hard sale and the hard close. They don't think the manager is going to come out there and jump up and down on the table and make them buy the car. They feel relieved. I want you to think about this now. They came to your dealership for a reason, and that's to purchase the car. Even if they weren't planning on purchasing it today, they did come to purchase it. They came to get the final bit of information, which is how it drives, how it feels, and how it looks, and pictured in their driveway before they make that final decision, before they go home and talk to their significant other or pray on it or think about it or sleep on it, whatever they have to do. And all you have to do at that point is make sure they're coming back. The easiest way to do that is follow that process. I want to say this one more time. All you have to do is say, give me 5 minutes of your time. 5 minutes, I can get you some numbers, and then you can take them with you. No obligation. At least you'll have some numbers in front of you, and when you're thinking about it, you think about it a little bit more intelligently. But I'll tell you what's even better is if you have a manager do this. If the manager can come out there and do that, and they're the ones going to give the numbers, then they feel a little bit more confident that 5 minutes is really going to happen. Well, over the past week, we've tried this. I mean, I tried every chance I could get to go out there and say, give me 5 minutes to the people that were not ready to buy. They didn't want any numbers. They just wanted to drive it. They want to think about it. And I'm going to tell you, without a doubt, half of them bought the car. Almost 100% of the people I went out and talked to let me spend 5 minutes with them. Most of those people ended up spending a lot more than 5 minutes with me. So give it a shot. If you're going to be 1 car short this month, 5 cars short this month, or a couple cars short this year, this is the way you get it. And it works like a charm. Don't forget, they're there to buy the car. They can't make a decision until they fall in love with it and you give them some numbers. It may not even be the final numbers, but it's a starting point, and it forces the customers to make a decision. I promise you this one thing. If you get this far with your customer and you do this, you're going to write more people up. And it goes to show, if you write more people up, you're going to sell more cars. Who cares if it's only 1? Who cares if it's only 5 or maybe even 10 more a month? Fact is, it's going to make you some more money, and that's going to make you feel a little bit better about what you do for a living, and it's so much more fun when you do feel that way. So again, I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you had a great one. And now we have the new year coming, so I'll be talking to you again next year. Remember, the sky's the limit, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please rate it and write a review on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate your valuable feedback. You can email Terry at 10minutesalestalk@hot.rr.com. And don't forget to share the show with a friend.